Welcome to Plain Explain. This channel is built on one simple idea. If you understand how the world works, you can navigate it better. And today we're taking that idea to its roots by exploring the inventions that shaped human civilization itself. Not just the famous ones you've heard of, but the deeper story behind how each invention pushed humanity into a new era. So sit back, relax, and let's take a calm, thoughtful journey through the most important inventions in history and what they reveal about us as a species. If you had to tell the entire story of human progress, but only through the inventions that truly changed everything, which inventions would make the list? Not just clever ideas and not random gadgets, but the breakthroughs that unlocked entire new ways of living, thinking, and building the world around us. Today, we're going to explore those inventions, not as a top 10 countdown, but as a beginner's guide to the inventions that shaped human civilization itself. The tools that lifted us from surviving to understanding, to imagining futures we haven't reached yet. And the best way to start is with a simple question. What makes an invention truly important? An important invention isn't just something useful. It solves a universal problem. It scales to millions of people. It becomes the foundation for new inventions. And it changes how humans behave, cooperate, or think. Every invention we'll talk about today did all of those things, often unintentionally and usually over centuries. So let's start at the very beginning, with the inventions that helped humans simply stay alive. The first one is fire. Most people think of fire as just warmth or light. But biologically, fire did something far more important. It allowed us to cook food. Cooking breaks down tough fibers and unlocks more calories per bite. And more calories consumed consistently across generations helped human brains grow larger. In other words, fire didn't just warm our bodies, it upgraded our operating system. It set the stage for everything that would follow. The second invention is language. Language is the original cloud storage. Before, language knowledge died with the individual. After, language knowledge could be transferred, refined, debated, and remembered. Language turned isolated humans into coordinated groups. And coordinated groups eventually became tribes, then communities, then societies. It might be the most powerful social technology ever created. But the invention that truly changed the destiny of our species was agriculture. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans survived by hunting and gathering. It worked, but it limited population mobility and time. Agriculture changed the rules. Instead of chasing food, we grew it. Instead of wandering, we settled. Surplus food meant specialization. Suddenly, not everyone needed to farm. Some people could build tools, or govern, or trade, or create art. Cities emerged. Civilization emerged. And it all began with the simple idea that seeds could become more than plants. They could become stability. Once humans could survive reliably, the next challenge was storing what we learned. The invention that made this possible was writing. Writing was the moment knowledge stopped depending on memory. It became external, permanent, and shareable. It allowed laws, stories, mathematics, and history to exist beyond a single lifetime. Writing is the backbone of everything we call civilization. But writing needed a medium. That medium was paper. Compared to clay tablets or carved stone, paper was light, cheap, and easy to produce. It democratized record-keeping. It allowed ideas to travel with people. And when paper spread across continents, so did knowledge. Yet the single invention that arguably accelerated human learning more than anything else was the printing press. Before the printing press, copying a book could take months. After the printing press, one machine could produce hundreds of copies. This transformed literacy, religion, science, and politics. The printing press created an explosion of ideas in early information age. If the internet connected the modern world, the printing press connected the old one. Once humans mastered knowledge, the next frontier was power. How to move things, build things, and multiply physical force. The first breakthrough here was the wheel. It seems obvious today, but for most of human history, the wheel didn't exist. Once it appeared, it changed almost everything, trade, transportation, agriculture, and war. It dramatically reduced friction literally and made long-distance movement possible. The wheel becomes even more important when paired with animals' roads and eventually engines. It's a simple idea with infinite consequences. But if the wheel was the start, the steam engine was the turning point. For the first time in history, humans could generate power on demand independent of muscle wind or water. The steam engine powered factories, trains, and ships. It kicked off the Industrial Revolution and restructured society around mass production. Cities grew. Goods became cheaper. And time became organized around machines instead of nature. Every modern economic system traces its origins back to steam. But the invention that reshaped daily life the most was electricity. Electricity turned night into day and transformed work into a 24-hour possibility. It powered communication, transportation, medicine, entertainment, and industry. It made homes, safer cities, brighter, and technology possible. The light bulb is often used as a symbol for ideas, but electricity was the idea that illuminated everything else. When electricity matured, a new era began, the era of computation. The first computers were enormous machines built to solve military and scientific problems. But they introduced a breakthrough, the ability to automate logic. Transistors made computers smaller. Microchips made them affordable. And eventually, computers became personal. The computer didn't just accelerate productivity. It reshaped how humans think, interact, and solve problems. It became a second brain, faster, more accurate, and infinitely patient. Then came the invention that connected those brains together, the internet. The internet turned information into something global, instant, and searchable. It changed communication, education, commerce, culture, and even identity. The internet is the nervous system of the modern world. Every message, every file, every transaction, all of it flows through invisible highways made possible by this invention. But the device that made the internet truly universal was the smartphone. A smartphone is a camera, a map, a library, a translator, a calculator, a newspaper, and a computer, all in one pocket-sized object. It turned billions of people into nodes in a connected network. And it changed how humans interact with time-space and each other. Many inventions are important, but very few rewrite daily life as deeply as the smartphone. So far, we've looked at inventions that shaped the past. Now let's look briefly at the ones shaping the future inventions that might be to our era what the printing press or electricity were to earlier centuries. The first is artificial intelligence. AI is not just automation. It is cognitive amplification, a tool that enhances reasoning, creativity, and problem solving. If computers extended our hands, AI extends our minds. It may become the foundation for breakthroughs in medicine, science, engineering, and education. We don't yet know its limits, and that is precisely why it matters. The second is biotechnology, especially gene editing. Tools like CRISPR allow us to modify DNA with unprecedented precision. This could eliminate genetic diseases, enhance agriculture, and reshape how we understand life itself. Biotechnology might eventually become more transformative than electricity, because it deals not with tools, but with biology. The third is clean energy, from advanced solar technologies to the possibility of nuclear fusion. Energy has always defined human progress. Fire enabled cooking. Steam enabled industry. Electricity enabled technology. And clean energy may enable a sustainable future. If fusion or next-generation renewables succeed, the entire global economy could shift around abundant, low-cost power. When you zoom out, a pattern appears. Every major invention starts with a simple question. How do we make life safer? How do we make knowledge last? How do we move faster? How do we think better? And each invention didn't just solve a problem. It created new possibilities. Fire made cooking possible. Cooking made bigger brains possible. Bigger brains made language possible. Language made writing possible. Writing made civilization possible. Civilization made science possible. Science made technology possible. And today's technology will make tomorrow's inventions possible. It is a chain reaction stretching across thousands of years. So the question isn't which invention is the most important. The real question is what problem will we solve next? Because the next great invention might already exist in someone's mind. A question, a curiosity, a frustration, a small idea that could someday change everything. And maybe that someone is you. Thanks for watching this episode of Plain Explain. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more videos that make complex ideas clear and easy to understand, feel free to subscribe. Every week we explore a new question about how the world really works through history, science, technology, and the hidden systems shaping our lives. And if there's a topic you'd like to see explained next, leave a comment below. Your idea might become the next video. Until then, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.